Welcome to 7 Minutes from Central Europe, a program brought to you by American Jewish Committee Central Europe. Today it is my great privilege to welcome Ms. Faina Kukliansky, chairwoman of the Lietuvos Žydų bendruomenė, the Jewish community of Lithuania. Welcome, Ms. Kukliansky. It's a privilege and a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Let me start with a general question about your community. How successful have you been as a community dealing with the coronavirus? We know that many communities, Jewish communities around the world, have grappled with a number of challenges. So if you could briefly share your experience with us, and maybe also, we hear stories all over the world about anti-Semitic campaigns that are targeted against the vaccination programs. Is that also something you have seen in Lithuania, anti-vax milieus using anti-Semitic language?
We have the same issues as all over the world. People were expecting maybe more serious illness, or they just didn't know what happens. And it was a little bit of panic from COVID. People, especially the elderly people, spent more time isolated at home. There are no gatherings so often as it was before. So the life actually changed. And I don't think that Lithuania is something special or something different from all other countries. People got used to the situation. It is not so frightening now. But on the other hand, people became a little bit lazy, the same as with our community.
Have you had any issues with the anti-vax groups?
The people are using yellow stars. And comparing the isolation to the isolation in ghetto or in the concentration camp. So part of the people, and especially these who are around anti-vaxxers, they're special people, some of them antisocial people, so they may be low educated. That happens and happened a few times, and we reacted. But what can you do with a crowd of people who do not understand the reality at all? It's yellow star. It's not the only thing which they do not understand and do not recognize as anti-Semitism or something sensitive for the Jewish people.
Yeah, you've mentioned the fact that these people sometimes make reference in a very awkward, inappropriate way to the Holocaust. And of course, the Holocaust is still a sensitive topic in Central Europe. Lithuania is of course one of the countries that, as I understand it, it still needs to continue some sort of internal discussion about the Holocaust. 6 months ago, your Prime Minister, Ingrida Šimonytė, in a press interview said, and I quote, "I tend to believe that the maturity of society is also measurable as to whether it can accept from historians a truth which can at times be awkward or which can call for revisiting or rethinking of what has already been established. It is also particularly true of a country that had lost much of its Jewish population during the Holocaust, where anti-Semitism resurfaces under the guise of new masks." End of quote. So this is, I think, a unique statement by a top government official. Yet on the other hand, almost exactly a year ago, we heard an offensive statement made by one of the members of the Lithuanian parliament in which he alleged that basically Jews bear responsibility for their own annihilation. Do we have to understand the situation in Lithuania that there are two camps, two groups? One is more likely to digest the difficult past, and the other is trying to to distort historical truth, to distort the truth?
Yes, it's a lot of people who can't recognize and can't understand till the end the role of ethnic Lithuanians during the Holocaust, and not only that, the organizations which prepared the Holocaust, such as Lithuanian Activist Front, they do not recognize that these organizations had such a big influence on the extermination of all the Jewish population in Lithuania. They just want to close their eyes and ears, and they do not want to know, do not want to talk about it. Or they are blaming Jews, as Rakutis did in the beginning of the year, and blaming in a very strange way, because to say that in ghetto or concentration camp existed a Jewish police or Jewish authority, it's not a news for anybody. I do not know any occasion or any investigation or criminal case which would be started by the authorities. Though the terrible comments or distortion or denying the anti-Semitism, you can read in the email, in the Facebook, or in our other news platform quite often, and I'm not the only one who is reading. A lot of people are reading that, the prosecutors included, and the officials included. But I haven't seen any movement or the public prosecutor or other officials who would initiate the investigation. And I haven't seen, by the way, investigation which would be finished with any criminal act or to announce a person guilty.
Yeah, it's really worrisome what you're saying. This is worrisome. We can only hope that the words of your prime minister will be followed by actions of the competent authorities in Lithuania, and that the process of the society at large coming to terms with its complicated history that there will be a progress in that process. Thank you very much for sharing your experience, your views, your feelings about the Jewish community of Lithuania, how you see the situation in your country. That is really appreciated. And we hope our viewers will tune in 2 weeks. Thank you so much.